Feldbeit Friedrich Hartmann's pencil scratched across his field journal, recording something that defied everything the Wehrmacht had been taught about race and combat. These Negro tankers fight with a precision we did not expect. Their coordination surpasses that of many German units I have seen. Either our intelligence has failed, or we have been deliberately misled. Through his binoculars, Hartmann had witnessed the impossible. Black American tankers maneuvering Sherman tanks with tactical sophistication equal to or exceeding veteran Wehrmacht crews. In under 4 hours, they shattered German defenses. Nazi propaganda had labeled African Americans as primitives, incapable of modern warfare. Yet here were 712 men of the 761st Tank Battalion, spearheading Patton's Third Army offensive into northeastern France, proving every racial assumption wrong. The 761st's journey began on April 1, 1942, at Camp Claiborne, Louisiana. Born of political pressure, not faith in their abilities, the U.S. Army created a segregated black tank battalion. Among the men was Reuben Rivers, 23, half Cherokee, half black, a farm and railway worker from Oklahoma. Alongside him were Leonard Smith, William McBurney, Preston McNeil, representing Black America united by war and segregation. Their commanding officer, Lieutenant Colonel Paul Bates, was one of the few white officers who believed in their potential. He demanded excellence. Their training was brutal, mastering the M5 Stuart light tank in 120-degree-Celsius heat, learning gunnery, radio procedures, maintenance, and battlefield coordination. Every error could confirm prejudice. Every success was a defiance. By August 1942, their proficiency matched that of veteran white units, but deployment was withheld. The Army trained them but refused to send them to combat. It wasn't until June 1944, 2.5 years later, that the 761st was deployed. On August 27, 1944, they boarded the troop ship Esperance Bay in New York Harbor. They could not bring their tanks. Those awaited them in England, along with the upgraded M4 Sherman medium tanks with 76mm guns and 450 horsepower engines, machines they would soon master in battle. After brief training in southern England, they landed at Omaha Beach on October 10, 1944, 4 months after D-Day. By October 28th, they reached the assembly area near the French-German border, ready to join Patton's Third Army. Patton addressed them bluntly. "Men, you are the first Negro tankers in the American Army. I would never have asked for you if you were not the best. Everyone is watching. Your race is watching. Don't let them down. Don't let me down." On November 7, 1944, the 761st entered combat at Morville, Levi. Captain John Long led the assault. Sergeant Roy King commanded the lead Sherman. The Germans expected an easy victory. Instead, they faced disciplined, tactically adept tankers. Rivers cleared mine-laden roadblocks under fire. King's crew engaged enemy anti-tank teams at close range. By day's end, Morville Levy had fallen. The cost was high. King and others were killed. But the battalion had proven itself. Over the following days, they captured Vickers, Chateau Salins, Deux, and more, demonstrating coordination, courage, and adaptability under fire. Staff Sergeant Reuben Rivers, grievously wounded by a mine on November 16th, refused evacuation. For 3 days he led assaults, directing tank fire while his leg turned gangrenous, until he was killed in action on November 19th. Rivers would receive the Medal of Honor posthumously in 1997. The 761st fought through the Battle of the Bulge, overcame fortified positions along the Siegfried Line, and crossed the Rhine River, relentlessly advancing into Germany. They captured towns, took prisoners, and shattered German assumptions about black soldiers' abilities. Cognitive dissonance spread among Wehrmacht troops encountering the Black Panthers in combat. The Nazi narrative of racial inferiority crumbled before their eyes. By the war's end on May 8, 1945, the 761st had fought 183 consecutive days of combat across 6 countries, participating in 4 major campaigns. They suffered staggering casualties, but maintained extraordinary effectiveness. Veterans returned to a segregated America, their heroism unrecognized for decades, fueling the civil rights movement and providing irrefutable evidence for desegregation. President Truman's Executive Order, 9981-1948, mandating military integration, drew directly on the record of units like the 761st. The 761st's legacy transcends statistics. They proved that courage, skill, and leadership are not determined by race. They fought two wars, against fascism abroad and racial prejudice at home, and won both. They commanded tanks, made life-and-death decisions, and shattered ideology with action. Their excellence paved the way for equality, education, and opportunity for generations of Black Americans. In 2005, the U.S. Army honored them at Fort Cavazos, Texas, with a monument inscribed to commemorate their 183 consecutive days of combat. The 761st Tank Battalion, the Black Panthers, had shown the world courage knows no color. Excellence is earned, not inherited. Leadership emerges from character, not complexion. Their victory was measured not just in battles won, but in the dismantling of prejudice, in history rewritten through valor. For the German Wehrmacht, it was supposed to be an easy fight. They had been told Black American soldiers were inferior, incapable of modern warfare. Through his binoculars, Erloyd Friedrich Hartmann saw the truth. Sherman tanks maneuvered with precision, Black tankers coordinating fire, advancing with skill and discipline that matched or surpassed veteran German crews. In under 4 hours, the 761st Tank Battalion broke the German defensive line, shattering propaganda and expectations alike. The journey began 2.5 years earlier at Camp Claiborne, Louisiana. The U.S. Army had reluctantly created a segregated Black Tank Battalion, the 761st, under political pressure, not belief. Among its men was Reuben Rivers, half Cherokee, half Black, a farmhand turned soldier with mechanical genius and natural leadership. Alongside him were Leonard Smith, William McBurney, Preston McNeil, men from every corner of Black America, united by war and segregation. Under Lieutenant Colonel Paul Bates, a white officer who believed in their abilities, the battalion trained relentlessly. Day after day, they mastered tank maneuvering, gunnery, radio procedure, and maintenance. Mistakes would confirm prejudice. Success would challenge it. By 1942, they matched the proficiency of veteran white units, but were kept stateside. Finally, in June 1944, they shipped overseas. They landed at Omaha Beach in October, joined Patton's Third Army, and received the M4 Sherman tanks they had trained for. Patton addressed them bluntly, "Men, I would never have asked for you if you were not the best. Your race is watching. Don't let them down. Don't let me down." On November 7th, the Black Panthers moved into combat at Morville-Levy. Captain John Long led the assault. Sergeant Roy King commanded the lead Sherman. German defenses expected to crush them quickly. They were wrong. Rivers cleared mine-laden roadblocks under fire. King's tank engaged anti-tank teams. By day's end, Morville-Levy had fallen. The cost was high. King and others were killed, but the battalion had proven its excellence. Over the following days, they captured Vickers, Chateau Salins, Dour, and more. Staff Sergeant Reuben Rivers, grievously wounded by a mine on November 16th, refused evacuation. For 3 days, he directed tank fire, leading assaults until November 19th when his Sherman exploded under German fire. Rivers posthumously received the Medal of Honor in 1997. The 761st fought through the Battle of the Bulge, overcame the Siegfried Line and crossed the Rhine, capturing towns, taking prisoners, and repeatedly defeating elite German troops. Nazi propaganda about black soldiers being inferior crumbled in their wake. For the 761st, each victory wasn't just tactical, it was ideological. By VE Day, May 8, 1945, the Black Panthers had fought 183 consecutive days of combat across 6 countries, participating in 4 major campaigns. They suffered staggering casualties, yet remained effective, disciplined, and heroic. Their return to a segregated America was bitter, but their service became a cornerstone for desegregation, culminating in Executive Order 9981 in 1948, ending racial segregation in the U.S. military. Their legacy extends beyond statistics. The 761st proved that courage, skill, and leadership are not determined by race. They fought 2 wars, against fascism abroad and racial prejudice at home, and won both. They commanded tanks, made life-and-death decisions under fire, and shattered centuries of assumption. In 2005, Fort Cavazos honored the 761st with a monument, immortalizing 183 days of relentless combat. The Black Panthers showed the world, excellence recognizes no color. Leadership emerges from character. Courage is universal, and history, once written by prejudice, can be rewritten through action.